welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, live Las Vegas. We're here with my co-host again, Shelly Stevens, and we have a guest today by the name of David Virgil. David Virgil is an individual who brings a lot of information for all of us. We got to know what kind of water we're drinking. He's one of the experts in the water industry. He's what to do with the water purifier. You're a scientist, a chemist.
I'm a water chemist. I'm a water treatment specialist class 3. So,
good.
yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been doing water for several decades, and it's my passion. I love water. I moved to Vegas because the water is so complex here that I wanted to make sure that we address the issues that most water softeners don't deal with.
Well, we want to thank you for that because I've been living here 35 years. I've probably been drinking the wrong kind of water. I used to have my own water well at my first house where I lived here in Vegas, and I lived there for about 21 years in that one house, and the water is a little different now.
Yeah.
And now what you're doing, you're exploring different opportunities to get yourself involved with the water industry?
That's correct, yeah. So I started out breaking down Vegas water molecularly, and I found 3 problems. What's called inorganic matter, which is rock or hardness. That's what a water softener takes out. Water softeners don't take out what we call organic matter, which is feces, dead bacteria scale, and dead viruses, which have been killed through chlorine. Exactly. And they don't take out all the cancer-causing things like chlorine, all the pharmaceuticals, herbicides, pesticides, and all the toxic chemicals. And so what I did is I broke down Vegas water and created kind of the perfect water to put in somebody's house that's nice and alkaline.
Yeah, well, what kind of testing do you do to determine the good water and the bad water?
Well, you can do a hardness test to determine how hard the water is.
How about bacteria?
Yeah, so the bacteria,
viruses.
Right, that's all been killed through chlorine, but they don't take it out of the water. They chlorinate it. Well, chlorine is a carcinogen, but now you have dead viruses in the water. And of course, when you kill the bacteria, it releases a fecal matter, so you have dead bacteria and feces in the water as well.
That's in your system when you drink it.
Yeah, that's right. You either buy a filter or you become the filter.
Yeah, right, exactly. I don't want to be the filter.
Yeah.
So now you've been doing this from where?
Well, I've been in San Antonio. I've had my company for, over 25 years in San Antonio, Texas. And so I came out here to Las Vegas. It's always been my passion. Actually, when Marcus Mariota first came here to become the quarterback of the Raiders, some of his family members bought my distributorship, and they really didn't do much with it. And I kind of got on them, and I said, well, if you're not going to do it, I'm going to come down here because this is a great environment. You guys really need water issues solved.
Wow. So you're saying that bad water can definitely cause cancer?
So cancer comes from a molecule called a free radical molecule. Mm-hmm. There's 3 types of molecules. A healthy molecule has a proton, a neutron, and what we call paired electrons. Mm-hmm. But if a molecule loses an electron, he becomes what we call free and radical. So he kind of reminds me of my tío loco, my crazy uncle. And so since he's missing an electron, he tries to steal one. And so the only person who can handle my crazy uncle is my antioxidant. Mm-hmm. So my system begins with antioxidants to give you chemical-free water, and then it softens the water, then it takes out the feces and dead bacteria scale, leaving the perfect alkaline pH for the digestive system.
That's why you fans out there watching the show, this is the viewers, this is so important because not everybody brings somebody on the show, an expert like David, who has so much information that we need to know. And I'm going to let you do most of the talking today because you're the expert that can explain to us a little bit of everything that's going on with the bad water that we have in the state of Nevada.
Yeah, so, a lot of people think that all the water we get is from Lake Mead. That's not necessarily true because there's an aquifer underneath. And so there's lots of water. There's as much water on this planet as there ever has been, but it's not all in a capacity that the human body can consume it. So what I do is I make it potable or usable for the human being, and so it just depends on what the water is because every water is different no matter where it is in the world. And so you've got to look at it and then analyze it and then make the changes to make the water good for our bodies.
Now, you look at Lake Mead, you look at the rocks, the rocks you got there, you see the lines. There's so many feet of water go down every year. Why is that? Are we running out of water or what?
Well, they're sending less and less from Colorado. They're sending a lot of, I've just found this out, they're sending a lot of the water east instead of west. They're sending the minimal amount of water from Colorado here, so that's why Lake Mead's so low. But you also have water underneath, but that water is warm water. So that means water finds its lowest point. So that means it's finding the magma at the core of the earth. And then what happens when that water feels that magma, it grabs all those minerals and it comes up at a high rate of speed at a very hot temperature. So we have so many in the Moapa area and other areas to the north. We see a lot of water, but it's very bad water. So it's just a matter of manipulating it and getting it to the place where the human being can consume it.
Wow. I wish we had known this like years ago, because back in the day, I'm from Philly originally, and back then, you didn't even think about buying like bottled water or anything. All your water came from the spigot, you know. And then it's crazy because my mom, she had cancer. And then in 2003, I had cancer. And thank God, I'm fine now. But I'm just thinking, like, all the years that I spent drinking water out of the tap, I don't know, could have been one of the causes of it. I don't know.
And you bring up an interesting point because we talk about how good the pizza is in New York and the bread is for the Philly cheesesteaks in Philly. It's because of the water.
The water.
The water makes the pizza better. It makes the bread better, and it makes the cheesesteaks in Philly better.
So if you want to have a good pizza here in Las Vegas, you got to go to the right place. Make sure they got the right filters.
That's right. That's correct.
That's a good place to go to. Tell them you guys want to have in New York pizza, you got to have the water corrected.
That's right. You got to replicate the.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the recipe of the water in New York and come over here and you replicate it and you can. Yeah. I've done stuff for MD Anderson. I've done stuff with Mayo Clinic. I work with the University of Texas, Texas A&M, Methodist Healthcare, creating water solutions for people with different diseases and things of that sort. So you can do anything that you want with water. All you need is a little knowledge.
Well, how about sports? Talk about knowledge. I'm into sports. And as you well know, I've been in boxing for so many years. The water for athletes in all sports, can we try to move that, educate them in reference to, because they drink so much water.
Yeah.
They drink more water than the regular individuals out there.
Right.
Because they're always working out, they sweat, they need the water in the system. Anything we can do to try to sell that product to them?
So 77% of Americans have acid reflux. The biggest culprit is the water. We buy those bottled waters. Those bottled waters come through reverse osmosis. Reverse osmosis is not our friend. It makes the water too acidic. So when the water is acidic, so you have the pH scale which goes from 1 to 14. 7 is neutral. You want to drink water with a pH between 7 and 8.5. Well, you drink those bottled waters, the pH sits at 3.4. So it's so acidic, the water becomes aggressive. It goes down your esophagus and it starts eating the lining of your esophagus. Now you become susceptible to things like tumors, acid reflux, heartburn, because of the aggressiveness of the water. So you want your water to be a little bit alkaline, not too alkaline.
Is there any kind of pills you could take to kind of offset that until things get better with the water?
Well, there are certain waters that are better than others. The cheap way to clean water is through reverse osmosis for bottling, but it leaves very aggressive water. But there's things that you can add to the reverse osmosis that some companies do to bring the pH. But pH is very, very important.
Well, my grandmother used to boil water too. Does that help at all?
Well, when you boil water, what's happening? The good water is evaporating.
Okay.
Because so that's called distillation, distilled water.
Okay.
So now you're leaving more of the rock in the water when you boil it. So your percentages.
Now, how about the rainwater?
Well, rainwater can be good, but there's, of course, as we know, acid rain, things of that sort in the atmosphere. I invented a system that turns septic water into drinking water. I have a picture of it. I don't know if it's a big unit, but basically you can take, because all water was fecal matter at one time or another, and we go through this cycle, and the water's all usable, but not that one. That's a Hyatt hotel. So I do hotel. This one here, you can take septic water if you have a septic system, and you can turn it back into drinking water, and that's actually functioning in a home in San Antonio, Texas, right now.
What other photos we got there? Let's see. We got the next photo. We could go to.
Okay, that system I invented for hurricane relief. So you can put that. This gentleman. We sold some of them to the Cajun Navy. You can put this system in the back of a pickup truck, and it'll make, after a hurricane or a natural disaster, you can throw a hose in a swamp or in the ocean or anything and make 6,000 gallons of drinking water per day.
Wow.
You said the Cajun Navy. What is the Cajun Navy?
Now, that's not what they sound like. These guys are all they're brilliant guys. Now, they look like hillbillies.
Okay.
But they're all like naval admirals and things of that sort. Brilliant, brilliant guys. But they just.
They're from New Orleans?
New Orleans area.
Oh, my God.
And they show up to all the natural disasters.
Wow. I know something.
No. There are areas where there's the lack of water, lack of rain. They got no water, but they created something where they can get water from the humidity.
That's right.
So
the Israelis have championed that. So they're pulling moisture out of the atmosphere, and that's why if you look at kind of topical visuals of the Middle East, everything's very dry and desert, except for in the Israel area, because they're pulling water out of the atmosphere and using it.
Okay, is that good or what?
Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean,
but it's not better than what you got.
Well, I guess better is kind of relative. It depends on what you're trying. Like I'm working on a casino a couple hours north of here, 3 hours north of here, where the EPA has dropped its standard or raised its standards, and so I'm having to address some really severe issues that I'm going to actually start on Monday. To help this casino out, otherwise they're going to be out of business.
In Las Vegas or Nevada, years ago, back in the 50s, when it started out, the population here was a couple of 100,000. I was in maybe 100-some-odd-thousand back in the 30s and 40s, when they started creating the water here in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us a little bit about the way it was back then, and now we got over 3 million individual residents in the state of Nevada. I mean, there's a lot of water being used.
Yeah, so I haven't had the opportunity to spend time. I want to be involved with the UNLV projects that are going on, and I've heard some wonderful things are going on. So there's a lot of research taking place with regard to that. But yeah, the water consumption has increased incredibly.
Yeah, so because every time I see, I use water in my home, I try to cut down a little bit.
Yeah, sure.
Keep thinking, back of my mind, I don't want to waste so much water because we're running short.
Right.
But should we worry so much about that?
Well, I think we always need to be conservative in the sense of be careful with our water and not waste water, I think. And there's a lot of regulations, of course, in Las Vegas. If you build a new house, you can't have grass. So there are a lot of new regulations going on.
They give you so many dollars for so many square feet of grass, turn it into a desert landscape.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And so, yeah, that's an issue that is continuing, and I'd love to get involved with the government more. I'm getting to know people like yourself and Judge Joe Brown and the luncheons that we do. We have a lot of fun, and I'm meeting the right people.
We meet a lot of good people at Joe Brown's luncheon.
Yeah.
Every first Wednesday of every month.
Yeah.
And that's where you and I met this weekend. I can tell you that there's so much that we want to learn about water, because I can ask you 1,000 questions. I'm sure our viewers out there want to know a lot more about how can we live a healthier. Health is the most important right now. And this month, Men's Health Month. Yeah. And we got to worry about how to keep ourselves healthy.
Yeah, that's
how can we keep ourselves going forward with the right kind of food in our bodies, liquids, and liquid means water as well. So all kinds of liquid. Now people say you got to drink so many bottles of water, a glass of water a day. How many do you recommend?
Well, so we are water. Over 90% of our body is water, right? Everything that we have is water. If we took all the moisture out of our bodies, we would just be a puño de tierra, a little speck of dust, right? Yeah. So we need to drink lots of water. There are a lot of different people say different things. Some people say we drink too much water. Some people say we don't drink enough water.
Yeah, but I think I don't drink enough water. Maybe that's why I'm losing so much weight.
Yeah, well, you look great. You look really good.
But I want to put another 10, 15 more pounds.
Okay, you can have 10 of mine.
But I tell you, what? When I turned pro as a fighter, I was 117.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I turned pro, wow. I'm 158. 148 this morning. I'm a welterweight, but I want to be like a middleweight, 160. I was before.
There you go. So you're planning a comeback? Is that what it is?
You never know. If the right one will get you, the left one will.
There you go.
I still look at a little spark of the old flash.
Yeah, there you go. The last thing a man loses is his punch, right?
That's right. That's what George Foreman said.
Yeah, that's
Whenever
right.
Every George Foreman, on Michael Moore at the age of 45, he was losing every round. From round 1 to 9, he was losing every round. He was not getting hurt bad, but he was getting hit more than Michael Moore was. Then the 10th round, with the power punching that he had, that short left hook and straight right hand, Michael Moore goes down his back, and I started counting over him. Well, I'm at 6, 7. I said, this fucking getting up. 8, 9, 10. That was
You
it.
waved it off.
And I said, that was it. But you're right. Lester, you lose your legs first. Your legs, your reflexes, but punching power is last to go.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
But anyway, going back to your water, I mean, it's you were the most important guest that we've had on our show because you're talking about something that's so valuable to us. I mean, we have to know more about what's going on. We want to get educated. Somebody like you can educate our viewers.
Sure, I'd love to. Can I give out my phone number?
Yeah, your phone number?
Yeah. 210-683-3958. That's 210-683-3958. That's my San Antonio number, so we can talk Spurs as well.
Yeah, we want to get we see you got the benefits of pure water refiners.
That's right.
We want to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah.
Do you sell anything, directly online, or you get?
I since I'm just new here, I am offering a special for people, and I'll just offer it to your viewers. If anybody wants one of my whole house filtration system, which turns your house in not just a water softener, it turns your house into the perfect water. So it creates the perfect water for the human body. The system's retailing at $9,000. I told myself the first 100 units I sell, I'm just selling them basically at my cost. And so, which is a lot less than the $9,000. It's actually, I pay about $3,400 for my system. So I'm just going to sell my first 100 at that price.
Yeah, well, people, once they get that system in their home, your viewers watching today say, we're so happy that somebody's finally talking up the truth about how water, how terrible it is. Not only is it hard, but all the bacteria and all the bad minerals in the water. I mean, there's a lot of things that's not right. And you bring a lot of good information to our viewers out there so we can share with them how to live a healthier life, live longer life as well, and prevent all these different illnesses that will come out, cancer, diabetes, a lot of sicknesses that come about because of the bad water we're putting in our system. And you say 90% of our body is water. Well, we got to fix that up.
Yep. We got to put the right water in our bodies.
Right.
Again, you will either get a filter or be the filter.
And when we're talking about liquid, we're not talking about alcohol. We're not talking about tequila. We're not talking about wine. We're talking about water.
Yes, sir.
People say, well, let me drink more tequila. Hey, honey, give me another glass of tequila. No, we don't mean that. We mean real liquid.
H2O.
H2O, right?
That's right. Yeah, well, basically, if a person will just take the time to learn more about water, I think there's a lot of just kind of false teaching with regard to water. I think, and it's very simple. Water's simple. Water is the fundamental of our life.
Right.
And so if we can get it to its simple state, it benefits us.
Mm-hmm. Right now, these foreign countries like Nigeria and in Africa, some countries are they're suffering from water, not enough water in the system. They're going through a tough time. Are we doing anything exporting water to them?
Well, there's water everywhere, but it's typically not in the condition that we need to consume it. So it's a matter of being able to find it through wells or through desalination in the oceans. But there's water everywhere. And if we can grab the water, if we can access the water, then we can manipulate it and put it in a situation where everybody can benefit from it.
We hear about on the news about a lot of sharks on the beach. They're dying. The seals are dying. Fish are dying. People, what's wrong with the water? You know anything about why?
Well, there's a lot of pollutants. Of course, human beings can be pretty destructive. Oil will, there's a lot of things that can destroy water.
In the ocean, there's a lot of
and that's
garbage.
their world. That's where they live.
Yeah, if you go to the bottom of the ocean, you go diving in the bottom, you see all the plastics and metals and stuff that people eat garbage is all at the bottom of the ocean. And the fish are living within that, and we eat fish.
Yeah, we eat fish. That's right.
And the fish can be contaminated. We don't even know about.
Yeah, that's.
Now does the FDA check the and the fish that we're eating? I mean, the FDA checks everything with food, right?
Yeah.
But how about the fish? I mean, the fish are in the water. We're eating fish like crazy.
Yeah, but most of the earth is water. 80% of this planet is water.
Right.
And so. There's plenty of water, and most of the water environments where human beings can't get to or haven't ever gotten to it's very good for their environment, for their world. But the closer they get to the coast, you're right, it gets worse and worse.
If you get to heaven, you're going to have pure water.
Yeah,
up there.
that's right. That's
If
right.
you go to hell, you're in bad shape.
You're out of water.
You have bad water in hell. In heaven, you got the water.
Ain't no water in hell.
But I'll tell you, people are always thinking about how can we create different things in our life. We got to change our life.
That's right.
We're talking about changing the world, but we need somebody like you to help us change the world for a better environment to us to live in.
Well, it's my passion, and I really do love it. I can talk about water for hours and hours.
Yeah.
And it's interesting if you just look at what has happened throughout history. The water was better back in the day. We used to drink out of the manguera. We used to drink out of the hoses and everything like that.
The fire hydrant, all that.
Yeah, everything, And nowadays, we have got to clean it before we consume it.
Unbelievable.
And so, yeah.
My husband is going to love meeting you because
great.
he's like one to make me drink water because I've just never been like 8 glasses of water a day like you're supposed to do. And my doctors always tell me, you're not drinking enough water. So he's like giving me water like all times of the day and night. If I wake up with a headache, that's because you didn't drink any water. Yeah. If I wake up, something's wrong with my stomach, that's because you're not drinking enough water. And I'm like,
but the thing is, it's got to be good because if you drink hard water, for instance, that's why we get softeners. If you drink hard water, it's got all those minerals in it. They end up in your kidneys. They gather back together, and you lift up the toilet lid and push, and nothing comes out but a scream. And so we got to be very careful that we're not developing stones and things of that sort. We got to drink good water.
I always wonder why I lost my hair. Maybe because of the water. That could be one of the reasons why. I want to drink other kind of water that make my hair grow back.
I think that's more genetics, but I don't know. I'm losing mine too. So you told me the story about how you just one day shaved your whole head. I might do that myself.
I tell you, I told about shaving I shaved my hair all off. I had a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
When I was refereeing a fight here in Las Vegas, I was not a resident here yet. My family was back east, and we were back in New Jersey. And I was doing a fight. I was doing a Felix Trinidad and Hector Macho Camacho.
Oh, yeah.
Here, it was a big fight. I think it was at Caesar's Hotel. And it was so hot out there. It was like 110 degrees that day. And I was not accustomed to the hot heat here that we have in Las Vegas. And I went to the barber to get myself trimmed. I told the guy, man, it's so hot. He said, you know what? You really cool off. I can shave it all off. He said, shave it all off. He shaved it all off. And I went on HBO that night to do my fight. When they introduced me in the ring, my family at the outside screaming. I said, oh, my God, what did he do? Is he crazy or what?
Oh, my God.
He shaved all his hair off. But, I did my fight. I was cool. I didn't feel as hot as I normally would. Because I took the cul-de-sac off.
Yeah, that's good.
I said, you know what? Everybody said, Joe, you look good that way. You look younger that way.
Yeah, you do look younger that way.
And made you take yours off, too.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
we can do it on screen.
But anyway, it's so important that we put you on the show, David, because again, your number is 210-683-3958.
That's right.
That's the number to reach you. You have a website that can reach you?
We're building our website now. Again, the only reason I'm offering such a good deal on these first 100 systems is because I'm just new in Las Vegas, been here about 3 months, but I've met all the right people really fast,
Right.
and I developed this system, and so I'm just getting this. My business in Texas is doing great. The one out here, we're just starting out, and it's doing well.
So you were in Houston, right?
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Yeah.
Okay, San Antonio now. They were down with the Alamo Dome, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I referee Julio Chavez and Pena Whitaker there one night.
Yeah.
65,000 fans.
Oh yeah. That's a big arena. Yeah. And Jesse James,
James Lehouse.
Yeah, he's in San Antonio. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah, and Tapia, Johnny Tapia.
Oh yeah, Johnny Tapia's from Albuquerque, from the barrio next to mine. I grew up in Martinez Town. He grew up in Sanjo.
Yeah, even I give Johnny Tapia. I referee him against Paulie Ayala.
Great fight.
Great fight.
Yeah. And then there was Danny Romero,
he fought a good fight with Tapia as well, and with Ayala.
That was at the pit in Albuquerque.
At the pit, yeah, right.
Did you referee that one?
No.
Okay.
The other referees, they were using their own state referees.
Okay.
I was still working in Nevada.
Okay.
I was do fights around the world, but every state normally have their own commission and they have their own officials.
Okay.
Once in a while, they will call me into one state, but they want you to be a resident.
Yeah, okay. Well, that makes sense.
You know, it's not fair for a local referee to be doing the fights, and then all of a sudden they got a big fight coming. He says, "Oh man, I'm ready for it." They bring an outside referee.
Yeah.
Now they get upset. They don't like that.
Yeah.
So most commissions, they should set up their own judges and referees.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But so if you have a WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO, the sanctioning body, sometimes they tell the commission, we have 3 referees and 3 judges we want to name for these fights. Will you accept any one of them? They say, yeah, we accept. They select them and make it easy for both sides to say, okay, we'll use those officials for those fights. Yeah.
Well, that's
but
interesting.
It's a game that it's difficult to get into. I say a lot of referees and a lot of judges. The judges have a hot seat. You know, sitting there scoring the fight is different than when you watch it on TV.
Yeah.
On TV, you're watching a fight and you got the cameras from up here. They're looking down. They got a good angle. You can see a different fight on TV from home than what you see at ringside.
Okay, yeah.
Because you got looking up the ropes are bothering you, the light. And the judges have a difficult time to score the fight because they say, I couldn't really see if that punch hit him or not because the rope was in the way or the referee blocked my view for a second.
Okay.
You know, the lights are. Anyway, I would say raise the position of the judges. They're too low.
Okay.
I think they started when they at ringside, see my ringside, they're at the wrong position. They should be up here like in tennis.
Yeah.
They have the referee.
But they get bled on, they get sweated on. And
Oh my Lord!
I tell the ladies, don't wear no white dresses. When they got female judges, or the fans that sit at ringside, don't sit at ringside with a white dress because you're going to be splattered with blood. You know. And it has happened a lot. Even me as a referee, I used to do fights. I come out, my shirt was all full of blood. One time I was doing a fight in Vancouver. It was Michael Spinks against Oscar De Niro from Brazil. And my shirt was so full of blood that the media group that came in from Brazil, they said, we were on the bus going back to the hotel, and I had that shirt on. It was so bloody, so much blood. It was like a pound of blood on me. And it was no Hollywood blood. It was real blood. No Hollywood blood. Anyway, so the guy, the media group said, Mr. Cortez, can we have that shirt? We want to put it in our museum in Brazil. I said, well, what I'm going to wear? We said, we'll give you this T-shirt. They gave me a T-shirt from the fight, a promotional T-shirt.
Oh, nice.
They gave me the T-shirt, and I gave him the shirt someplace in Brazil. And in some museum. Oscar De Niro, he got stopped, I think it was in 2 rounds against Michael Spinks. That was my second world title fight.
Oh, wow. That's great.
My first title fight was Aaron Pryor, Miguel Montilla in Atlantic City, 1982. People say, Joey, you're losing your mind. I said, wait a minute, my mind is better than all you guys put together. I still got a good memory.
Well, my mom's celebrating her 92nd birthday yesterday, and
birthday!
she, her body's not doing too well, but her mind, oh my God, she's
just beautiful.
She just left. I just put her on a plane and sent her back.
She went back.
That's so beautiful.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, I referee Russell Morrow was from Albuquerque, and he was a good referee. He retired 2 years ago at the age of 60. I said, Russell, you're on top of your game now. Why are you retiring? He said, Joe, I'd rather retire. I said, I'm going to retire when I was 60. I said, Russell, I refereed until I was 69.
Wow.
You can do a couple of more years. He said, no, I'm going out at 60. And he gave it up. He was a good referee from Albuquerque.
So you quit when you were 69?
69, 2012.
Wow.
I was Canelo Alvarez, Josecito Lopez fight at the MGM Hotel. And I had my wife there, and I took my grandson Bryce, who was about 5-6 years old at the time. And well, he was a little more, he was about 10 years old. And my grandson Bryce now plays with the Vegas Nighthawks Indoor Football League. He graduated from Purdue University with the Boilermakers. He was a defensive back with the Boilermakers. But I'm trying to get him now to go with the professional NFL and see what happens. But he did 1 year with Purdue University, and last year does not qualify you with enough stats to say you qualify for the draft. So that's why he wasn't in the draft. But some of the players I played with him at Purdue University, like O'Connell, who played with the Raiders, him and Bryce were buddies. He said, Bryce, man, you belong there with us, with the big boys. NFL, he said, your stats didn't match, but you know what? But you got the talent. But Bryce said, maybe let's see what happened. Maybe someday somebody will notice me and pick him up. But he was Rookie of the Year 2024 with the Indoor Football League. And they won the national championship last year with Vegas Nighthawks.
Okay.
So let's see, you never know.
Yeah.
He's 26 years young.
Yeah.
I said, Bryce, you still got it. But boxing, stay away from boxing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be a fighter. I said,
That's what everybody in boxing says.
because you know what, a lot of fighters don't end up pretty normal. They end up either kind of like with dementia early, you know. They're not the same anymore. They take too many punches to the head.
Yeah.
I stayed away from getting hit. I never got dropped in my whole career. 45 fights in the amateurs. I lost only 2 in the amateurs and 18 and 1 as a pro. Never hit the canvas. And you know what? I was like a Mayweather. Hit, don't get hit. And people, but I was not cocky like a Mayweather talking about I'm the money guy. I got billions of dollars. I don't do that. I just talk about how nice I am and how I can help people, the reviewers out there, to bring guys out like David Virgil on the show to talk about, and Shelley to talk about helping you guys get you on the right track, keep yourself healthy, live a longer life. Hopefully you can be like David one day, smart and sharp, and help other people and always pay it forward.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor.
Well, it's been a true pleasure, and we will see you later on tonight at Lola's. We are there tonight.
Okay, we guys see Lola's. You guys perform from 6 to 10.
To 9 tonight. Today's it's Thursday. Yeah,
Thursday,
6 to 9.
6 to 9.
6 to 10
I
on the
might pop in.
weekends. Yeah,
I'll
that
see
would
you
be
guys. You
great.
take care. Keep your guards up at all time. David, I'm fair, but I'm firm, buddy. Take care. And here's my undisputed champion, Shelley Stevens.